Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the live stream of today's session. Today we have an interesting session ahead of us. We will be discussing the base algorithm, also known as the 8 steps of the algorithm. So welcome to join me today. Everyone, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the live. Okay. I am streaming live on Instagram and on YouTube. So those of you who want to see my presentation, welcome to go to my YouTube. It's interesting, on my YouTube, you are welcome to subscribe, and then as soon as I go live, you will be notified. If you would like to stay on the Instagram, welcome to stay. I'll be looking into the screen and I will be talking and actually reading everything that that is on my presentation. Okay. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for saying hi. Welcome everyone to say hello. Welcome. Hi, Laz. Nice seeing you. Welcome everyone. Welcome to say hello. If I know you, if I don't know you, also welcome to say hello. Welcome to ask your questions live, and I will be able to answer you live. If you are in my basic user course, here's a chance for you to ask any questions you have about materials. If you're not yet in my basic user course, welcome to join it, okay? One way or another, let's start. I'm going to introduce myself again. My name is Lana Shalom. I'm a certified NeuroGraphica instructor and coach. I've been practicing NeuroGraphica since 2017 as a certified NeuroGraphica specialist. Welcome, welcome, Edgar. Thank you. I'm looking forward to presenting this fascinating information to you. I will be talking about some new stuff, okay, that have been introduced in the beginning of this year and some stuff that Pavel introduced later toward the end of 2024. So yes, I'm very excited. I have been practicing certified neurographic instructor and coach from 2018. And that's when my goal is to bring this amazing method to you guys, to the English-speaking audience. There are tons and tons of people doing this in the Russian-speaking, which is a native language of the NeuroGraphic method. The creator of the NeuroGraphic method, Pavel Piskaryov, PhD. He is a Russian-speaking psychologist, PhD. He's a master of many traits. He's a Reiki master. He is a philosopher. He is a what do you call that? Martial arts master. Lots and lots of amazing knowledge that he compiled into this method that we know as a NeuroGraphica, an amazing transformational method. If you don't know anything about the method, join me today as I'll tell you about it and you'd start discovering it for yourself. The basic way to describe this method would be art coaching. This is what people ask me, what do you do? I tell them I'm an art coach and I'm an art psychologist. And people always ask me, is it the same as art therapist? And I say, no, it's a bit different. Therapy is something we focus on the past. You know, we go to the therapist when we need to quell, when we need to whine, when we need to talk about something that's been bothering us. And it's okay to say that, it's okay to say that we want to quell, that we want to whine, that we want to complain. That's what the therapist is for. They sit down, they're trained, they're professionals trained in sitting down and listening to you talk about what's bothering you in the past. It's about something you cannot change. Can you change the past? No, you cannot change the past. What can you change? You can change the way you view the present and focus on the future. And that's the field of coaching. And that's why NeuroGraphica is an art coaching method. That's what we call it. And today I'm going to explain to you why. We're going to have two parts to this information. Part one, we're going to discuss today. Today, we're going to discuss steps from 1 to 3. Okay, I'm going to give you details. Maybe at one point I will even transfer my camera and we will be drawing. I will be telling you more, maybe showing you some stuff more. And tomorrow we're going to focus on steps 4 to 8. Okay. The 8 steps of the algorithm is also known as the base algorithm. The base algorithm is the main way to draw NeuroGraphic. The base algorithm is the explanation what the NeuroGraphic method is all about. What is it? How does it work? Why does it work? You're gonna make more, we're gonna connect all of what we're discussing today and tomorrow to our to what I'm going to be discussing either next week or the week after, where I will be bringing you the pyramid of consciousness. Okay. The way Pavel created the method is based on this base algorithm, also known as the 8 steps of the algorithm. And the way it's worked out is that with each step, we go deeper and deeper into our subconscious. Okay. Again, it will make more sense as I will talk about it today. I'm just going to give you the algorithm. Algorithm is a mathematical word. Okay. I had a student who asked me, said, she was a specialist student, so she's an ambassador. The specialist student we call the ambassador of NeuroGraphica. Their job is to bring the NeuroGraphic method to others. So she asked me, Lana, somebody asked me, why does it called the algorithm? But it's such a mathematical word. What does this have to do with math? And the way I explained it later on, I actually heard Pavel explain the same way, is that the connection to math is the sequence of steps. Math is a very logical entity, okay? Unless you meet real mathematicians, for whom math is also philosophy. It's not just steps, 2 + 2 is 4. It's not just, understanding the 2 and 2 is 4. It's not just memorizing, okay? There are two approaches to like the table of multiplication. One approach, and those people are very sure that this is the only way to do it. They say, you must memorize the table of multiplication, okay? The second approach is understanding. You don't have to memorize, but in your mind, you can actually do the math. 2 × 2 is 4. True mathematicians are this kind of people. They don't memorize the table of multiplication. They understand how it works. Okay. And that's the idea, because math is an exact science. It's about 1 and 1. And look, you can prove it. It's easily proven. 1 and 1 is 2. 1 and 2 is 3. Okay, I can prove it to you. Look, you can see my 3 fingers. Okay, and that's the idea with mathematics. It's an exact science. It's easily proven, and it's easily what? Disproven. Okay, then we have something called the social science. Social science is the idea of psychology, sociology, philosophy, history. That's social science. Social science, some people, the true scientists, like mathematicians and like physicists and chemists and biologists, they say, oh, no, no, no. Social science is not a true science. Why? Because you can't really prove anything. Can you prove that, what Freud said, that we have subconscious and we have conscious and we have unconscious? Can you prove it? You can't prove it. Even if anatomically you can look at the brain scan, right? The CAT scan of the brain, you can't really prove that this part of the brain deals with subconscious. There are some research, right? There's a famous research about I forgot about it. I was talking with my son. He's actually starting to become a psychologist. The famous, I'm going to remember and I'm going to write about it. Okay. I'm going to put it in my post. Look for it on Facebook and Instagram. But I'm going to write about the famous story about the guy who had the rod go. He worked at the railroad and he had a rod go through his brain. Okay. And it was one of the first successful brain surgery. They removed the rod, but the problem was that the brain was damaged. There is a part of the brain that was damaged permanently. And that's how they started discovering, because that part of the brain is connected to short-term memory and language, okay? It's because that person, after the brain surgery, it was successfully removed, but when he started coming and talking to people, people started noticing that at a certain point he would talk gibberish, like words that have no connection to anything else he's saying, that he has certain gaps in short memory. And I guess the doctor who was, leading him, right, who was checking him out every so many days or so many hours, so many days, I'm sure, started noticing. And that's how they started connecting that this part of the brain is connected to short-term memory. This part of the brain is connected to cognition, to language development. Connection between language development and logic, and what's happening. Logic is what is happening right now, right? Am I going to talk about the 8 steps of the algorithm, or why don't we talk about the weather? right? That's something off, right? So the true scientists, the physicists, the mathematician, they say you can't prove that. You can't prove that there is a consciousness. You can prove that certain parts of the brain are connected to certain areas of human development. You cannot prove that consciousness or subconsciousness exists, right? The things that Freud first proposed it, then Carl Gustav Jung connected it further, and then all the other psychologists coming in started talking about it. We have the social psychology, the field of development, what I like to call it now, the happiness field of development, making person happy right here, right now, field that's focused on the present. How do you make your present count? Not just talk about what happened in the past, not just think about what's going to happen in the future, but live within now, right? And but the idea is, and that's an interesting why Pavel said, no, look, there's an actual algorithm. I'm going to prove to you that mathematical, scientifically, NeuroGraphica makes sense. It's a scientific method. And since I believe 2020, maybe 21, but 20, definitely 2020, people started doing their dissertation. People started doing their PhD thesis on the NeuroGraphic method for this specific reason, to show, to prove that NeuroGraphic is scientific method, that we can actually set a thesis, right? We can actually say a hypothesis, right? We can say, before I drew NeuroGraphica, I was feeling not so good. After I drew NeuroGraphica, I started feeling better. If you do this 10 times in a row, 10 days in a row, if you do this 30 days in a row, you will start noticing a pattern before and after. And that's already a scientific approach, okay? So yes, there is a connection here to the mathematical idea of looking at the world, that the world works in a logical sequence. There is a sequence of steps of how we achieve anything in the world. If I want to drink, there is a sequence of steps. Either, right? If I want to drink, what do? I need to get up, go to the kitchen, get a bottle of water, open the bottle of water, bring it to my mouth, start inhaling the water, processing. My body has to anatomically process the water. At one point, I have to stop because I'm going to feel full. Then I close the water back in the bottle, put it back or whatever on the island next to my table, and sit down to continue whatever I was doing. That's a sequence of steps. And that's what Pavel is saying. He says, look, we can all sit down and have philosophical ideas. We can do meditation, but I'm going to give you a simple sequence of steps for how to achieve the realization of your goals according to the NeuroGraphic method. He said, I'm not here as a Buddhist teacher. I'm not here as a Reiki master, which he is, right? He's here. He says, I'm here as a creator of the NeuroGraphic method. And these are the steps. They're as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're also as complicated because each step has a substep to it, okay? And that's what I'm here to discuss with you. Not just tell you the 8 steps, but go through each step in details for you to be able to understand this on a deeper level, okay? And again, this usually was a closed information for my basic user course students. You are welcome to be a part of this. Why? Because I think it's important for all of you to know, because there's so many open videos and so many different instructors teaching differently, and not only instructors. I want you to be aware of the correct way, of the appropriate way, how to reach the realization of your goal. In order to do that, we need to follow the 8 steps, okay? Now, I'm going to foresee your question, okay? If you are planning to type up a question, by the way, welcome to type your questions. I will be happy to answer them. This is the main reason why I'm here. Okay, give me a second. Let me open up. I'm going to open up my document to give you, I'm going to talk about each step, and I want to give it to you. Okay, give me a second. Okay. So did I want to tell you? Some of you may ask, now, Lana, does it have to be in the sequence? It doesn't, but, okay, just like when you learn math, first, how do little children learn digits or numbers? Actually, adults don't teach to them in sequence, okay? They teach them, look, we have 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. right? They don't tell them, look, this is number 1 and this is number 10 or this is 9, because that will create a confusion in their mind, right? First, children learn the sequence of digits, of numbers, and then they learn to look at the numbers and digits out of sequence, right? They start looking and saying, oh, this is 2, and then we have 5, and then we have 8, and then we have 22. Same thing here. First, I want you to look at the 8 steps of the algorithm, learn it as a sequence, because this is known as something we call the base algorithm. Meaning everywhere else, okay, we will, starting at the basic user course, by the way, and then definitely at the specialist course, and definitely at all the certified courses, which, by the way, are on sale on my website, neurographicusa.com. You can also find me at lanashalom.com. Great time to join any of the certified courses now, because in 2025, I'm doing a refresher course on all of them, and I will have to be raising prices for that, okay? So it's interesting. Memorize the base algorithm, because if you are having any issues in life, you sit down, you start drawing, and you start noticing how things are improving right away in your present time. But as you learn more, you will learn how to vary certain steps. I will explain later on which steps we can vary and which steps have to be staying the same. For example, I'm going to tell you right now, steps 1 and 2 always have to be steps 1 and 2. We cannot vary that. We cannot put except one algorithm. Those of you specialist students, you should know this by heart, okay? But I'm not going to go into it now, okay? I'll talk about it later when we talk about different types of algorithms. I'm going to create a separate session for you. For now, just think about it. Step 1 and step 2 must always go together, okay? First step, you always set the topic. Second step, you start the composition. And at the end is the same thing. Step 7 and step 8 must always be in that sequence. 7 and 8 can never go in the middle of the base algorithm, okay? 8 must always be the last step. We always do topic 2.0 brainstorming. And 7 must always be something we do before we set topic 2.0. Okay? Now, steps 3, 4, 5, and 6, they can be varied. And that's the basis of different types of ARL. Okay? ARL stands for Algorithm for Removing Limitations, okay? There's a classic ARL that goes by the 8 steps in the exact sequence you see here. And then there is ARL Express, there's ARL Shapes, there's ARL Lines, there is ARJ, the new algorithm for removing judgment. It's a bit different, okay? We have ARI, and I'm telling you just the algorithm in the basic user course. That's how amazing the basic user course is. The 4 steps in the middle, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's actually more than 4 steps, right? Because we see number 4 has substeps, 4.1 and 4.2. Number 3 also has 2 substeps, neurographic and rounding. So, but in general, we refer to it as 4 steps. The 4 steps can be varied. Okay, this is an important part to be aware of. And that's the main reason why you should join the basic user course, because the point of the basic user course, you know what? Not this open information which you're getting from me for free, but the practice of drawing. In my basic user course, you get, I think at this point, maybe 25 cohorts. Cohorts means there is 25 different ways of me teaching how to draw the algorithms of the basic user course, okay? And that's the main idea. The main idea to join the basic user course is practicing how to draw the algorithms, not just theoretical information over here that I give you, but the actual hands-on practice, okay? And that's the idea. Let's start. I'm going to transfer my camera. I want to start giving you the information, not just telling it to you, but you know me, I like practical hands-on way of doing things. Let's do this, okay? I'm going to prepare my paper. I'm going to transfer my camera. Those of you on Instagram now will be able to see what I'm doing, okay? Those of you on Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube, I will be changing my camera and you will also be able to see what I am doing. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Hmm. Take the marker. If you want to draw with me, you can. You don't have to, by the way. This is more of a, this is not a drawing. I'm going to explain to you all the steps, okay? In details. So that's why you can watch, or again, you can draw with me. It's up to you, whatever you fancy. Okay. Oh, okay. I need to turn off my sharing. Okay, now you can see. Now, Instagram, you can see what I'm drawing as well. Okay. Let's do this, okay? Step number one is setting the topic. Step number one, topic. Okay. Now it's interesting to note. It used to be 3. Now I even have 4 ways of the way we can set the topic, okay? 4 ways we can set the topic. Remember, setting the topic always involves doing something we call brainstorming for 2 minutes, okay? Brainstorming means we'll put a 2-minute timer, we take a piece of paper, and we just start writing whatever comes to our mind. Whatever comes to our mind, it can be a thought, it can be a word, it can be a phrase. Whatever comes to us as a body sensation, right? Whatever, I feel my hand, my heart, my back, my feet, my hand, I don't know, my legs. Whatever comes to us as an emotion. I feel happy, I feel sad. For some people think that's a thought. That's not a thought, it's an emotion. Okay, you want to know the difference? Watch something I call the Wheel of Emotions, and I'm going to make a separate video where we talk about emotional IQ, increasing your emotional IQ with the neurographic method, okay? So let me show you 4 ways we can do the brainstorming, okay? The very first and simple way was the way we used to do for the past 6 years, okay? Until Pavel introduced a new way of doing it a few months ago, I think 6 months ago, maybe, okay? And the way it used to be is that you're writing a word on the piece of paper. I'm trying to see it, probably this, okay? And then you just write down whatever comes to your mind, okay? You sit down for 2 minutes, you set a timer. I usually have my phone. My phone is now busy with Instagram, and you just write the words just in, I don't know, just according to the lines, okay? Now we have a new way. Pavel introduced new ways. I'm going to say ways because there are new ways to do this, okay? One of the ways is to also do the same thing, okay? You write the word on a piece of paper. You can have lines if you're into structurization. You write the word, the main topic, whatever you think is your goal for at this moment, okay? You're writing it on top. By the way, it can be afraid, but Pavel suggests just writing a general word, like an area of development. We have like about 8 areas of development, okay? Look up wheel of development, I think it's called, right? It's a very famous coaching tool, okay? But general, we have 8 areas of development: health, personal development, finances, professional development, social, leisure. What else? Let me look up. I'm missing 2 more. Okay. So I said finance, health, personal development, family. Okay. Personal and family is not the same thing. Just as much as it might be for somebody who's like a new mom, it must be separate. Professional development, social development, spiritual development, and leisure. Okay. Those are very, very important. 8 areas. You can create your own 8 areas. I just gave you a general. You can adjust to your needs and your values and your view of the world. Okay. So you can take a general point of view, okay? Let's say health. I'm going to say the word health for me now, okay? Let's say. I'm going to put the word health on top, and then I'm just going to put a 2-minute timer and write the words underneath, happy. I'm not even doing it. I'm just giving you an example. Mind, whatever comes to me, I'm just writing it down. Dress, knee. Okay, I've been having a pain in my left knee for quite some time, so healthy, okay? Workout, okay? Losing weight, okay? You notice certain words are quite connected. Logically, you're like, okay, losing weight is connected, right? Workout is connected. And certain words are not, okay? After you write whatever comes to you for 2 minutes, you're going to take, this is one way of doing it, okay? You're going to take pencils or highlighters and just go through each word with a color. It doesn't matter. Don't spend too much time figuring out what color I should do this, because if you do that, that's going to be your whole session. And you can do that, I mean, as a way of drawing, okay? But you're not going to, don't spend too much time, okay? But kind of color each word on your paper with different colors. Do it intuitively, wherever comes to you, whatever your hand wants to do, you do it, okay? Got it? That's one way of doing it, okay? That's way number one, okay? The second way of doing it is similar to what I just showed you, right? Let's say you write the word on top, okay? And then underneath you write the words that come to you, okay? Hands, nails, manicure, pedicure, okay? I'm just writing whatever comes to me now, writing, explanation, leading, session, okay? I'm gonna stop now. What do you do then? Then what you can do is create a mind map. You can do both. You can do the color, and color, by the way, is the way we connect to something emotionally. Okay, so connecting to your goal. Okay, where is my yellow marker? Connecting to your goal on an emotional level, or you connect to your goal on both levels, both emotional through the color and mind map, okay? Many of you hold the term Tony Buzan called the mind mapping. Look it up if you want to. It's the way to connect to certain words. You look at it, okay? Like what I did similarly here. Logically, what makes sense? What goes with the word health? Manicure and pedicure, does it connect it to the word health? You know, in my mind, it doesn't. So I'm not going to connect it to the word health. But you know what? They're connected to each other. So I'm going to do it like this. Nails are connected to the manicure. Hands are connected to nails and to the manicure, right? I can add the word feet and connect it to the word pedicure, right? Nails, also toenails, right? Explain and session connected together. Do you guys notice what I'm doing? I'm creating a mind map, okay? I don't remember what I wrote here. I don't remember what I wrote here, but basically, usually, you know, when I write it down, I'll write it more legibly, and I connect it together. So in general, like if I put it together, manicure, pedicure, it is connected to my health, okay? In general, this idea, all of this words together, the idea of having an aesthetic beauty on my nails, right? You can see my nails now. I do have it done regularly because that's tools of my trade, right? And I connect it to health, okay? It's somehow connected to health. Now, if you try to ask me how, I don't know if I can logically explain it, but intuitively, I know it's connected to health. So look, I connected it, okay? So this way, okay, over here, number one is connecting by color. Over here, number two is connecting by both color and something we call mind map, okay? Logical connection, okay? And you can also do both, like I said before. This connecting through color, okay? Okay, guys, I think you get the point, right? Okay, now, by the way, this is new, okay? I would be surprised. Maybe you heard it from your instructor, but this is completely new. You may not have heard it because they probably didn't get a chance to watch the new sessions by Pavel. I watch it every month, okay? Now, the third way of doing is this way, okay? Let me see, give me a second. Color, mind map. Then there is something like this, okay? This is an interesting one. Well, let's do this here. This is going to be the pyramid one. Number 3 is the focus on the pyramid, okay? Those of you who doesn't know what the pyramid of consciousness is, you can either wait, I don't know, I might do it next week or the week after. I'm thinking I'm going to do a new program for you guys next week because it's a week before the new year 2025 starts. I think I'm going to do a series of sessions on how we can plan. Let me know if you guys are interested in this, okay? Are you interested in having live sessions, maybe even like live streams on how we can achieve optimal results in all areas of our life? And we're going to do it maybe even by 8 areas of development. Okay. Let me know if that's something you would be interested. Okay. That would be by donation only. I would do it as an open stream, and you guys are welcome to do an exchange of energy by donating whatever you guys want for each session. Okay. But that's something I was thinking, because originally I wanted to do the pyramid of consciousness next week, but then I realized it's a week before New Year. Why don't we sit down and plan our year 2025? Let me know if you're interested. I would be happy to do it. Okay. Now, third way of doing the brainstorming is for those of you who know the pyramid of consciousness. If you don't know it, again, either wait until I do it in about 2 weeks, or I have like 3 or 4 versions of pyramid of consciousness that I already did on my channel. Welcome to search pyramid of consciousness. Even if you write the word pyramid, Lana Shalom, it will come up on YouTube. Okay. Now, pyramid of consciousness style. Okay. This is much more logical than the mind map. Okay. Consciousness, okay? Much more logical than the mind map, because you have to actually know the levels of the pyramid. You write your goal on top. The word over here would be, remember where I chose? I chose health, right? And then you must know each level of we have 7 layers before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? And we actually have an 8th level, and that's the level of, we call the bliss, okay? The level of, we call the drive. This is the most highest level you can ever achieve. It's already the level of spiritual connection, okay? You always put your topic over here on the very top of the triangle, okay, of the pyramid. And the idea here is that you start writing words automatically, intuitively, okay? Let's do it now. I'm not even going to set a timer. I'm just going to write words. Hands, connection. Why? How? I don't understand. I'm just writing whatever comes to me right now, okay? I'm showing you an example. Hands, writing, new program. Why am I doing this? How? Mission, okay? After the 2 minutes, you do the free writing. You actually, and you have to know the section, each section of the pyramid here. I always have it right here, but again, if you guys want me, I'm going to do in about 2, 3 weeks, I'm going to do the new, like a new version, a new perspective on the pyramid of consciousness, okay? But that's the idea, right? I know which each level belongs to, okay? The top level, right? It depends. Actually, this is the opposite. If you go in the opposite way, the top is going to be the drive. So the bottom is the active consciousness. It's connected to who we are, our body, our 5 senses, okay? You have to know each level. The second level is operational consciousness. Operational consciousness is, what can I do? What are my actions, okay? Then we have individual. Then we have the layer that's called subconscious. Again, it's way too much for me to explain to you within the today's session. But if you know what I'm talking about, if you don't, again, search Pyramid Lana Shalom on YouTube. You will find it, okay? We have individual, subconscious. As soon as we go in the top layers, after the 2 layers, we're entering the subconscious. So this part is consciousness, okay, which you can access in your mind. This part is subconscious, okay? In the top layer, the health, in my case, it's the word health, my goal, my topic, my general area of my life where I'm seeking transformation, It's the highest level, okay? It's the connection of me, who I am, to my soul, okay? This is a very logical, an extremely logical level. Again, you will understand this more once you understand what the pyramid of consciousness is involved, know each level, learn each level. It's amazing, okay? I actually have a series of videos where I made 7, 8 videos where each session I talked about each level. Those of you who want to learn this in details, in amazing depth, it's an amazing study, okay? And then we have the 4 style. I call it intuition. And you understand why it's called intuition, because the number 4 level is always about the soul. Okay, and intuition is a scientific word to how we refer to our soul. In this case, the way you're going to do it is you're going to write the goal, the health, the area. In my case, it's health in the middle. You can even put a circle around it to make it as a focus, to bring it out, stand it out in your mind. And what you're going to do is set the 2 minutes, and then around the word, you're going to write whatever comes to you. Okay, let's do it now. I'm just going to do a few seconds. Ears, mind, head, headache, why, how, understand, bring, structure, create, schedule. Okay. And the word me came to. Then you start understanding, you start connecting, you start noticing. Like it's more like a modular, kind of. You start noticing different layers, right? What are the words that are the closest to your goal, right? And then paying attention to the word schedule, the word, I don't even know what I wrote here. Something else I wrote here. Again, it's usually much more legible because I actually take my time to write all the words fully, right? Then you start noticing what's on the 3rd layer around my goal. Again, use a pencil to kind of, you can, again, over here too, by the way, you can always use a color. Do both. Always do color in every style, okay? But over here, it's interesting, right? Not just color, but you also start noticing. The words are in the 1st layer. The layer that's closest to your goal are the words that are the most significant to your goal, okay? This is your subconscious. Your intuition is giving you hints, okay? It's not logical where we're going to actually look at each level, but it's more intuitive, okay? The next level, it's like, remember, this level is body, this level is emotions, next level is logic, and the last level is also the soul, okay? Start noticing different layers, okay? How is the words that are in the last layer are the words that are not as connected to your goal, okay? Let's even look, the word intuition happened to be in the last layer. When it comes to your health, do you follow your intuition? When we look at the word health, we don't follow intuition. Why? Because to us, the word health is connecting to the word medicine. And medicine is an exact science. At least that's what it should be. That's what most people argue that it should be. Most people say it must be like that, right? Don't ever use your intuition. Only use science, use medicine, go to the doctor, only follow. That's a Western medicine approach, right? Now, in the Eastern medicine, it's a different approach. It's about actually, connect your intuition to the knowledge or to your body, right? There's a whole study called metaphysics, right? Chinese medicine. What's your approach? And that's something, in this case specifically, I would ask myself, what is my approach? How do I see the word intuition? And how do I connect it to the word health? Is there a connection? And for me specifically, right now, the realization came that something is, I need to figure out. My knee has been bothering me for quite some time. I have to figure out, okay? I don't like going to the actual doctors. My approach is actually this, connecting, figuring out what bothers me on a metaphysical level. And I've been doing it, and I've been figuring it out, but, I'm getting a hint here and kind of a message that you still need to go to the doctor. Okay, and that's the idea. Okay, figure out what is your message. What is the message? Okay, again, add color. Okay, when you add color, you make the words, you make this goal, you make the words within your brainstorming kind of more connected to what's happening within your subconscious, kind of more maybe self-explanatory on a certain level of your subconscious. Again, don't try to use too much logic in this specific case, okay? Because if you will, you're not going to reach much. You can't fully logically start understanding why do I have this word. It's going to take too much time, and I'm not sure how practical it's going to be. It's better to just quickly do this and go on to your drawing, okay? Which will take us to step number 2. What is step number 2? Step number 2 is something we call the composition, okay? Okay, composition, in our case, in the NeuroGraphic method, refers to something we call as starting to draw. It also known as starting to draw. And those of you who have studied your journey in the NeuroGraphic method, you know, the next word would be starting to draw the algorithm, okay? Each and every algorithm in the NeuroGraphic method is based on the base algorithm, which is what we're going through now. But different, there are a few ways to start to draw, okay? Do you remember what we did a few weeks ago, maybe a week, last week or 2 weeks ago? Right? When we talked about the NeuroGraphic alphabet. NeuroGraphic alphabet always, oh, I put it up on my wall, okay? You know, the NeuroGraphic alphabet consists of what? 4 items, right? We have, I'm not even going to draw. We have the shapes, or we have the neural line, and that's the idea. The NeuroGraphic composition, starting to draw, always start, and that's how each and every algorithm drawing start. 2 ways to start it. We either start with drawing shapes, okay, and then adding the neural line, or, okay, we actually start the neural line. Actually, we have 3 ways, okay? The shapes or neural line, and we have the third one. Or we start adding the neural line, okay? The third one is the main algorithm at the basic user course called the ARL, and it's about drawing something we call the catharsis, okay? I'm going to give you a light version of the ARL in the open session. If you want a more advanced session, you're going to be able to see it when you purchase the course. But the light version, when I leave it open, that's when I will explain what the word catharsis mean and the details. But the basic idea is this. We either start drawing with the shapes, okay? Or we start drawing with the neural line, or we start drawing when we make catharsis, okay? And then the catharsis has to follow certain algorithm. I will explain it to you when we draw, okay? 3 ways to start the composition, okay? Remember that. 3 ways to start the composition, okay? Okay, I'm gonna do this one. I am practicing what I'm preaching, okay? Adding color everywhere just not just enhances the picture, but it actually gives your subconscious like a message. This is that way, okay? Okay. Okay. And that brings us further. Remember, again, every composition starts 3 ways. Either shapes, you always start with the shapes, or you start with the neural lines. You always do the neural lines, and then you add shapes as necessary, or you always do the catharsis. And then with the catharsis later on, you also add shapes and, you know, the rest of the steps. Okay. Now, let's talk about step 3. It has new items here added, okay? Father started practicing step 3, which is called conjoining. Step 3 is called conjoining, okay? Okay, conjoining. Conjoining means you take all of the elements you put on your paper, whether it's a catharsis, whether it's the shapes, or whether it's the lines, okay? Let's do that here. I'm gonna draw the line. Then I'm gonna add the circle because I'm gonna show you. Now, conjoining used to be just meaning rounding. Now Pavel started explaining more because I usually explained it, but I still noticed that people would go like this. They would do conjoining and then they drew the composition, then right away they would go to the rounding step, right? Now notice what happens. If I just do the rounding, what happens? The areas where I did the rounding is darker than the areas where I didn't do the rounding, okay? Does that look aesthetically pleasing? No, and it's not connected. It's not within the NeuroGraphica method. So I have been using for a number of years already. Ever since in 2018, I actually went to Russia. I met with Pavel personally, and that's what I learned in the intensive, that whenever we draw, we must also go over the lines, okay? But this year, Pavel created an additional step, 3.1, and he called it neurographing. What does it mean, neurographing? Okay, remember we used the word neurographica. I explained to you what each part of the word means, what the word neuro, what the graph means. It means you go over the line again. You can either go over the line exactly the way it is, or you can add the neural line aspect. Look, you go over the line and you add the wavelengths, right? What is the main aspect of the neural line? The wavelengths, the aspect, we talked about it last week, the aspect of the potential of the circle being present in your line. Okay, we can do this, look. This is adding more care, comfort, love, which is what, right? Look, every time you add more waves, more of an, whenever you draw neural lines on top of the lines you already added, what you're adding is the element of the circle, okay? Which we know means care, comfort, love. Both are acceptable. You could just go over the line, but make sure you do it, or you can do you still go over the line, but you're doing it in the neural line format, okay? Over here, you kind of go like this, okay? See what I'm doing? This is a new thing, okay? All those of you who are my basic user students, if you are a specialist, this is mandatory for you to know. Please learn it, practice it. Main thing is you must practice it with a warm client. You must practice it for self-coaching. Promise you, it's not just, I know there are new items being introduced in the specialist course, which I'm going to talk about after this session in 10 minutes. And most of the students were like, oh no, new things. Guys, new thing is not a bad thing. I promise you, it's a good thing. You get new algorithms. You get to learn how to reach transformation in a new way. It's a good thing. Be happy. I'm very happy that Pavel is introducing new items, new things, okay? Because this is how we know this method is a live method. It's constantly developing, okay? It's not just, it's not just something that has been developed and that's it. It just stale. No, it's constantly developing. Pavel constantly adds. He discovers new things about the method and he adds, he teaches it, he shares this with us. And that's an amazing part. Thank you to him, I'm very thankful to Pavel for not just creating the method, but sharing it with us. Isn't that amazing? And the same thing goes to all the new elements that he's adding, okay? You always add the neurographing as you do step 3.2, which is the rounding, okay, guys? This is very important. Please follow through with this, okay? If you have any questions, you're welcome to write it for me here. If you have any questions for me later, you're welcome to send it to me. I'll be happy to read it, okay? But we are done for today's part. I'm gonna do part 2, steps 4 to step 8 tomorrow. Please join me, okay? I will be very happy to hear from you. If you have any comments, welcome to leave it. You guys notice, right? I keep taking the orange pencil. Honestly, very, very much so intuitively. I don't know why, but I keep taking that color. I guess that's what my intuition is seeking, okay? I'm gonna actually add color here. Okay. Turn this drawing that I did for illustratory purposes into a full-fledged drawing, okay? Maybe even add, you can add color here. Okay. I'm coloring and I'm waiting for your question. If you have any questions, welcome to write to me. I'll be happy to answer. You're welcome to email me. You're welcome. The best way to reach me is through the messenger. right? That's the best way. That's the quickest way for you to get an answer from me. Why? Because I can just give you a voice message back, okay? Typing takes quite some time for me, so I don't resort to it very often, right? That's why when I get questioned by email, it takes me time to answer if but Messenger is much faster. I just voila, send you a voice message explaining the answer to all of your questions, okay? There you go. Voila. Always add the elements of the neurographic methods to your drawing, to your whatever, even note taking, right? You see how we can change any note taking into a neurographic method. And that's the premise of today's session. Turn anything and everything that you can do into the realization of your goal, the way to bring any goal you have to realization. Just start implementing the 3 steps of the NeuroGraphic base algorithm, okay? Thank you for joining me today. Oh, Alicia, yes, honey, I'm finishing up. Because I have to start, I have a meeting for the specialist course students in 5 minutes, so I need to go there. I will see the rest of you tomorrow. Okay, I'll be happy to see you guys tomorrow. Again, if you have any questions for today, you can actually save it and ask me tomorrow live, okay? I can answer you while I'm drawing. I will be able to see your questions and answer them, okay? Thank you for joining me today. I enjoyed. I'm wishing you a nice day or night ahead. And may all your wishes come true, okay? Goodbye, everybody.